Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Discover Mercer County Business. I'm your host, Rod Wilt. I'm the director of Penn-Northwest Development Corporation. We are Mercer County's lead economic development agency. I say that only because we're certified by the Department of Community and Economic Development in Pennsylvania to provide affordable solutions for business expansion, and that is who we are. And want to kick off today's podcast by thanking our marketing and media and special events manager, the producer of the show, Melinda Bowen-Hauk, who makes sure I get here on time, usually prepared, and have something to say, which I'm never short on words. But today we have an unbelievable couple of guests in the studio. And we're so excited to have Tony and Adrienne from Clever Marketing. You are our marketing partners at Penn-Northwest. If you like what we are doing on social media and on our website and some of our production and some of our events, we got these two plus a few others that aren't here today. So how's it going today?
It's going
good.
Great.
It's gorgeous outside.
Well, before we got on air, we were talking about how expensive everything is. But
Yes.
Yeah, but there are certain things that we will spend money on, like coffee and pets and things like
Yes.
that. So.
And great marketing.
Yeah.
There you
That
go.
part, see?
Yeah. Of course.
Nice
So,
plug.
yeah, we were doing
good.
our budget yesterday, coming up for the next fiscal year, and Melinda's over there just waiting and waiting and waiting. And she goes, I would like to have a little bit more money in the marketing budget. I said, well, if you can drive a little bit more membership dollars, then we'll move it over to marketing. But
Hey, whatever you need.
yeah.
We got you.
Well, let's just take a first minute or so and just tell us how Clever Marketing got started, because it's a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, we could start. Myself, Adrienne, and Whitney, our other founder who's not here with us today, we all worked at a different agency, and we all worked together. And, as we did that for a long time, we developed great rapport with each other. And, we thought about it. It's like, we love doing what we do. So why can't we kind of just go off on our own and do it ourselves? So, and that's what happened. Clever was kind of just born out of, people that love doing what they do and want to kind of go out and do it on their own terms. And that's where it all started.
And then we thought doing it in the middle of the pandemic was a really good idea too. So
Well, not advisable.
no,
but
it worked out okay.
I will say, and you guys, you kind of pioneered, though, in this area of remote work, because you launched a brand new company, 100% remote.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. It wasn't our intentions.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we always, when I envisioned starting a business, I would envision having an office, but it keeps overhead down. It helps us keep our costs down for our clients. And, we're able to go wherever we want to go. And there's the Clever RV idea that still floats around.
Ooh, that's a very cool idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not totally on board with it yet, but
No, Adrienne, I just got to tell you, as an RVer back in the day, that is not a horrible idea.
See?
get it wrapped and branded.
It's
and
our own billboard that goes wherever we go, We can park outside really cool places.
But for right now, it's our houses.
Well, just think about it. You could have a mobile production unit in there.
Exactly.
It'd be like the Clever Road Show.
Exactly. We can pull up, do a podcast somewhere, and it would be great. See, that's what we've been trying. Adrienne's kind of pushing back a little bit. She handles all the money.
Yeah.
When the Debbie Downer. But no, I think sooner or later it'll come to fruition.
All right. So somebody needs a marketing partner, because that's really how I describe it. It's a partnership.
Yeah.
Why would they consider Clever, other than that you obviously are clever? But outside of that, what services, what's your sweet spot, company size, who do you like to work with, who don't you want to work with? And while you're describing that, kind of talk about what each of you bring to the table when you hire Clever Marketing.
So I think what we found our niche in is we wanted to be like a creative house where people came to us for just really big, great ideas. And that's really how it started. We always say what we do is called the commercial arts. And I feel like the art part of it gets lost and it's just all commercial. And I feel like they're equally important. And so we like clients that value the equal, obviously we want to make our clients money, right? At the end of the day. So the commercial part's important. But the art part, it can still be awesome and creative. And can I swear?
Every day.
Kick ass.
Yeah. No. Let me tell you something.
So
if you don't have passion, and if you aren't type A, and if you aren't going to want to kick ass every day, you're going to have a hard time.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in the world that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It is a highly competitive deal that you're chasing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the other thing that we wanted to do. We wanted to bring something different that, that people aren't really used to around here. I mean, you have like a lot of great marketing companies out here, but that aren't taking that step to do that really killer creative.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we wanted to do. Again, I said it earlier, it's like we wanted to do it on our own terms, and that's kind of what we're doing. I mean, with creative, we're doing that, and luckily for us, we've had a lot of great clients that completely trust us, and and they're getting those results from trusting us. I mean, we have an Insight clinical counseling. They do mental health and physical wellness, and she has a great company that keeps growing and growing. But when we first met with her and did her website, she's getting so many people that come to her website, and even new employees that come to her website that love the website and want to work there just because of the creative that we did on the website.
Yeah.
So,
and I think in terms of a client who we work best with, I think somebody who's willing to obviously trust them, the creative end of things, and then also people who like understand who they are. Do you know what I mean? Or are willing to like get some of that insight into who they are. And then also I feel like we're also not afraid to sort of push back a little bit more too. So like, we're going to explain to you why we do the things we do, why we think it's important. If we think you're making a bad choice, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Creatively, or if you're doing what we call Frankensteining, which is start mishmashing a bunch of concepts together that don't really go together. You know what I mean? So
Wait a minute. That's what I do.
You Frankenstein?
No, I do. I chase the shiny object all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, we're going to do that. No, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
No, we're going to do this.
But they'll we'll present like 5 logos, and they'll take a little bit of every single one and put it into one. That's what we
you're
call
talking about.
that's what we
Okay.
call Frankensteining.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, well, this one works for this reason, and this one works for this reason, and it's okay if you want to mix a little bit, but let's not make like a whole Frankenstein out of it. So yeah, people that aren't afraid to have us give our opinions as well is also very helpful. And some people don't want a marketing person. They just want someone to create what's in their head, which is fine. But we work best with people that want to actually have a partner and want to have some back and forth. And
all right, so let me pick some things out of there because you talked about logo design.
Yes.
You talked about messaging a little bit. You've talked about on the creative side, print advertising. You mentioned about the internet, social media, website types. These are all services that Clever Marketing
Yes.
can
Oh,
help people drive out.
yeah, I'd say our number 1 is probably branding, social. Well, I'll say number 3, top 3.
Top three, yeah, there
Branding,
you go.
social, and website design. I would say are our top 3 things that we do the most often.
Yep.
We love the branding part of it probably the most, just because that's really where it all starts, and then we love like taking it and like
putting
it
visuals
out in
real
all
life,
those other ways.
Yeah, and I tell you what I've been impressed with in our now going on 3-year relationship. You look at economic development, and in a lot of our podcasts, I really talk about the historical model for economic development is really about, let's go over here and grab this company and convince them to bring all their stuff here, in Mercer County. And we're always open to that. But, our main goal is to help businesses that are already here, already invested, understand our climate and culture. What can we do to help them grow? And then when we asked that question, we came back to, well, you could really help us grow if you could help us find more people and convince more people that this is a great place to live, learn, work, and play. So why don't we quit exporting all of our college students, high school students, and everybody else? And so we partnered with you, and you took this 37-year-old agency that hadn't changed their logo or their designs or anything. And so when we first sat down with you, tell us what opportunities you saw and what you've put into motion for us so far.
Well, I think kind of at the beginning too is, it was right at that perfect time where people really wanted that experiential marketing. So they wanted to feel something, they want to, experience something. And I think, because of the pandemic, people started, really wanting that more, and you saw that rise through everything, social media and any kind of marketing. So I think kind of adding that.
Well, you couldn't go see anybody. So
Well,
you had to go
Yeah.
grab them in the stratosphere and get them to
Exactly.
pay attention to you. So it was a little more difficult. rather than
Yeah.
just trying to build a cool trade show booth. or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things we talked about at that first meeting was doing like more that content based thing, which you guys have been doing awesome at. You know what I mean? Just telling stories of people that are already here, that are successful, that are starting here. I think the whole content end of it, because you have, how many members do you have at this point?
We're now at, how many members, Melinda? Melinda's off camera, but she's here. 178,
So there's
pushing
at least
180.
178 stories. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right,
Like,
right.
Yeah.
and then if you start to like talking to like individual owners too, there's even more. And then you get into the partner end of it. So yeah, I think going the content route for you guys was big. And then I think with Whitney, who does all of our design, I feel like she like freshened up like your color palette a little bit. You still have your core colors, but she just like kind of energized them with some of that yellows and then just like incorporating more faces into what we do. I think people need to see
People, yeah, right.
Yeah.
the other person.
Well, this program, and prior to us doing the podcast, we did more of the news type interviews over. We're at Teal College, by the way, at the beautiful Pettis Communication Center. I sometimes I forget to plug them and all the support they give us. Paul, who's outside, runs all of our production. But so we're in the podcast studio here, and we have a beautiful, beautiful state-of-the-art TV studio back over here that we used to record at. But I think the idea for this Discover Mercer County Business program actually came from some of those. We needed to develop more content. And as Adrienne, you've been pushing us to tell stories, and I think that's one thing that I've kind of developed a knack for through the last couple years we've been doing this is pulling this stuff
Pulling
out.
the stories
stories
out. Yep.
out, yeah.
Exactly. So on that note, tell us a little bit more about how each of you came to this as your profession. Where did that spark of interest to say, hey, I want to go down the marketing path and really help companies brand themselves and distinguish themselves from a crowded marketplace? So where did that start for you guys?
I think for me, I went to YSU and I was just in their media program. So as you're doing the media program, the way it was when I first got there, it was, you're going to do news. Like, this is what you're going to do. But
Wait, you're going to do news. Is that what you said?
yeah,
No,
you're going to do news.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not what I wanted to do, but if this was a good stepping stone to start doing more of like the long form storytelling and all of that. But as I was there, it's kind of like the professors trusted me enough to kind of let me make my own path when I was there. So, I started doing more like fun commercial stuff, and then I started working with a commercial company doing video production. And kind of that's where it all started. As I started doing commercials, the first thing we did was for a national commercial for Quaker Steak and Lube. And, I wrote it and directed it, and it was cool because, that was like, wow, this is awesome, and this is what I want to do.
Wait a minute. The first time you saw it on TV, did you have like a holy
It's the coolest thing when
did
you
you-
see
yeah, did you
your
have
work
like
for
a
the
holy
first
shit
time.
moment?
Absolutely.
Hey,
Yes.
Mom, I did that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Check
it
out.
was amazing, and it was like, wow, that's like the very first project I worked on. So and from there, it kind of just grew. Like, I really wanted to do the commercial side of things, and I thought that was fun. And then from there, interest just grew, like working with more companies and learning more about branding and marketing, and kind of that was the path that I took. So.
Oh, dude, that's so cool. How about you, Adrienne? Where did that
so
spark
I
come
went
from?
to YSU for journalism was my major, but then I did advertising and PR as my minor, and I really thought I wanted to go the PR route just because it was close to journalism, but a little bit better hours than journalism.
Yeah, right.
Not as much criticism. I didn't think it'd be as much criticism, but it's still the same level.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
You can
sure.
write a press release from 9 to 5. You can't really write a news
Exactly,
story
yeah.
from 9 to 5. I know where you're coming
although
from.
I got
Yeah.
some first-hand experience in crisis PR, and that is
Oh,
that's a
that's-
whole nother world.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a whole
yeah,
nother
yeah,
world. And then the job I was at saw something in me that thought I could do advertising copywriting, and so I slowly started to do that, and then that turned into a creative director role, and then I really never had any intentions of working for myself ever. I
Yeah.
just don't come from an entrepreneurial family. That's just how we are. So if it wasn't for these, Tony and Whitney, I would probably still be working.
So
where I
you
was.
had to be talked out of your comfort zone then to
Oh, for
jump out
sure.
on that. You did.
Yeah.
You like that, hey, I have a paycheck. I'm
Yeah.
not sure I
Yeah.
want to go without a paycheck if we don't do a good job
it's
marketing.
scary.
Oh
it's
my
it's
gosh.
terrifying.
That complacency.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
terrifying. But thankfully, I have two other people to push me and help me get there. So that's great about having the three of us. I feel like there's always somebody to kind of cheer you up. You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
you see when you have a bad day or something goes wrong, there's always somebody who sees it differently when there's three of you. And I feel like it's easy to like kind of get out of it faster.
Yeah, and it's always easy for us to talk about things too. I mean, first we're friends, and that helps, especially with everything that we do on the daily basis. So we're able to kind of see things from different perspectives, and it helps us professionally. Like even with certain clients, like if we're trying to get new clients, like we have different ideas, and that kind of brings us all back.
So Tony kind of handles the sales end of things, and like he's good at playing the long game. We just talked about it. I'm impatient. I'm like, what did they say? Got to do this. Got to do this. And he's like, just chill. Like, just chill. And then it always works out, whatever he says to do. But I'm like, wait, but did you send this? But didn't tell this. You send this. Tell that. Tell that.
Did you call them
this
yesterday?
is why I'm not the salesperson, because I'd be annoying. So he's much better at that. But we were also really all on the same page of what we wanted out of it, which was we wanted better work-life balance. We wanted more time for ourselves. We wanted creative freedom. So I think it was very helpful that we were all kind of on the same page, like core idea-wise.
Yeah.
So how is it going? I mean, you're like 3 years into this.
Yeah, it's 3 years in.
Yeah.
Still
So
have
when
a business,
you
that's great. We were, so we, in our second year, started turning a profit, which
Which
I
is
thought
That's
was
amazing.
I
for
thought that
any
was amazing.
business. Yes.
I was
yes.
excited by, so I handle the money end of it. I always joke that I put my finger on my nose last.
So.
So I'm the fiduciary one that has to handle all of that. So yeah, in our second year, we turned a profit, which I thought I was expecting like 5, so I was pretty excited with that.
And able to hire an employee.
Yeah, and we brought on a part-time employee. Hopefully going to get her full-time soon. So yeah, things are good.
That is great. I love when a plan comes together. But are there certain niches that you love to work with? I mean, we're an economic development company. Most of our peers don't hire a marketing company to do our messaging, but we just felt like we needed a rebranding. We needed a refreshing. Our audience was, old white guys like me. And if we're going to grow this economy, I mean, we need more young people. We need more people that come from different backgrounds, look at the world differently, maybe have different value. I don't want to say morals, but different values, the things they value. I hear people talk about work-life balance. I don't know what that means, because I love everything I do, and everything I do revolves around some business that I'm involved in, but that's just me. But, is there a certain niche within the market that you've gone after? Or do you have a pretty broad base list of clients?
We have this weird niche right now of mental health.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what that says about
That says about us. Like,
maybe we need it. I don't know.
Or...
But we have quite a few clients that are in the mental health, which I feel like we've got to come like little experts at some of the things now.
Yeah.
But I really feel like if you're in marketing, we should be able to make anything cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's our job, So as much as we love getting like product things, because it's great, it's just fun to have a product, like a physical, like business to consumers, kind of always like considered the fun one, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because you get to do product shoots and you get to like have a little more personality, but I feel like it's our job to bring that personality to anybody. So
yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, we kind of, whenever we work with a client, we try to be experts in whatever they do, and it comes with working with them hand in hand, finding out about their business, and we'll take all the information that we have and kind of put it out there in the creative, just because we learn about everything. I know for a while there, we became hardwood experts for a client. I knew everything about hardwood for a long time, and
remember one day at our previous job, I wrote about like chocolate. Maternity wards and like I think like manufacturing all in one day. So it's just you have to be able to like switch it up.
Yeah.
And I think also we do a really good job of keeping those things separate. So like what works for one client doesn't work for everybody.
Exactly.
And even when we have clients in the same industry, we really try and like make sure their stuff is unique to them. It's their look, it's their messaging. So I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're getting the same thing from us.
And how about those traditional lines like print, radio, TV? Is that all part of what people can access when they connect with Clever Marketing?
And it's not dead. People always think it is. It's not.
Yeah.
It's still an option. It's still definitely something that's out there and definitely worthwhile doing. I think sometimes the way you deliver it or what you deliver changes, but with streaming of everything, especially for audio and TV, there's definitely still a need to be doing that as part of your mix. Even outdoor. We do a ton of outdoor billboards. A ton.
Oh, really? That's kind of cool.
Yeah. But again,
Yeah.
we try and approach it from a way of what can we get that someone's going to actually talk about? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because with billboards, you don't have a lot of time. You only have so many seconds, and you have about 7 words to capture someone's attention because they're driving by it. So how can you make it the most impactful as you can that someone's going to remember it?
And it's kind of funny too sometimes when you work with like some of the disc billboards and you send them a really cool piece of art and they're like, well, there's too many words on there. It's like, no, you got to understand like what it's saying.
Yeah, so we did our own. We ended up doing our own, and
Oh, like a billboard for
yeah,
Clever?
for Clever.
For Clever,
Okay.
yeah.
And so our idea was go the too many word route, but we highlighted the important 7 words. And so, yes,
Which
it was a lot
ours
of words.
was clever is better.
Clever is better. It was
And,
3 words
yeah,
that
so
stuck out,
that
but it
stuck
was
out.
within a whole
Yeah.
sentence. We'll have
Let
to
me
show
ask
you
you,
the
did
picture
it
of
make the phone ring or did it hit did somebody see it? and
We
call
got
it?
multiple text messages.
Yeah, we got lots of messages about it. We actually won
It got an award too.
we got an
Yeah,
award,
we
yeah.
won an award for it too.
yeah, we do the National Advertising Award.
So wait, I forgot to mention that. Silly me. Here on the Discover Mercer County podcast, we've got one of our great companies, Clever Marketing, and I forget to call you the award-winning.
Thank you.
That's right. That's right.
The award-winning Clever Marketing. So tell us about the award.
Yeah, so there's the American Advertising Federation, and there's chapters all over the country. We happen to belong to the Akron one just because of where we fall.
Yeah.
So this year we got 6.
We got 6 this year.
2 gold and 4 silver.
Wow.
And
And
last year, what did we get? 3 last year?
Which included the judge's choice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, during
so
your first
I wanted
year,
to get more the second year. I didn't think we'd get that many more, but like I always have a goal for the next one to beat it, you know? So
So yeah, no.
go for like
We
8 or
got a
10
lot
next
to
But
get
year.
next
were,
year.
were they for print, digital, billboard?
everything.
So it
really.
was a variety, so that's
Yeah.
the great thing. So we got, I think, a gold on a website and a gold on social, which, again, 2 of our top categories. And then we got silvers in print,
photography,
logo design, and,
outdoor advertising.
yeah, outdoor. So all the things that we feel like really fall in our wheelhouse.
Well, I can tell you on our end, working with Melinda here, the all roads lead to and through Mercer County,
Thank
PA
you.
was a very, very, very cool way to highlight our I-79,
Yes.
I-80, I-376 corridor and the extraordinarily high traffic counts that we have
Yeah.
on those. So that was actually
Yeah.
became the backdrop for our trade show exhibit.
Yes.
So
So again, we like to find things that, yeah, it was meant for a print ad, right? But what else? It could be used for how many other things? And I even think we animated it a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
for a post one day. Like, how can you come up with something big that can, what we say, have legs and can go out in multiple ways?
And it all comes back to the branding. You know, people recognize it. You know, you keep seeing it, and it's what we do.
Talk a little bit about the business model, because I know that we do some special stuff with you, but then we also have this monthly retainer where you got to just produce content for us. So talk a little bit
Yeah.
about the business model for
Yes.
those who might be listening to this edition of the Discover Mercer County podcast.
So we do a split of retainer and project-based work. And so all of our social media projects are all on retainer just because it needs to be like this ongoing thing. For some clients, we will sometimes do just like a library of work, and then they can just sort of access that and just kind of deploy it themselves. But with social, I think it's a mix of what's the graphic, what's the post, what's the mix of posts that month,
yeah,
which
yeah.
when we work with Melinda, I think it's great because Melinda can do the boots on the ground stuff, like here's where we're at today, and then we can sort of do the branding, membership end of things. So that's always helpful. So yeah, what's the mix? What's the hashtag strategy? You know what I mean? There's a lot that goes into it that makes it need to be a monthly thing. And then we're also on retainer with some clients to just be their agency of record. So anything they need, marketing wise, we'll do on a monthly basis.
I was gonna say, and it's scalable too. So you know, if you don't have a big budget and just want a couple projects, like we can do that for you. Or if you want us to hire us for everything, we can do that for you too. So it really depends. It comes down to what budget you have, what you want to do, and we can take it from there.
Yeah, and we really try to be as transparent as possible
Yes.
with everything, so we don't mark up random things.
Yes,
Or,
yes.
if we're hosting your website, you have access to everything. We ask that you don't change the password so we don't get locked out in case you break it.
Right.
But other
Yeah,
than that, it's yours. It should be yours. It's your art. It should be yours. And so, we try to not be those tech people that like lock you out of things and make it not usable. Every
Right.
website we build, we train you on, and we keep like a couple extra weeks where we just have some back and forth time with you. That way we know you're comfortable with it, because it should be something you should be able to do. And if not, then we didn't do our job right.
Very cool, highly transparent, fair pricing. No wonder you made a profit year 2.
That's what we're trying.
Amen,
Thank you.
amen. Well, we're here with the folks from Clever Marketing. And how do people connect with you? How do they get in touch with you if they found something on the podcast today that they're interested in, saying, hey, I want to learn more about that? How does that happen?
They can go to workwithclever.com. That's our website.
It's a fun website.
Yeah,
You guys
check it out. There's some fun little features on there. We took our time building our site. Well, we had time because we were getting
in the
everything
middle of a
together.
pandemic,
Yeah, so we had nothing but time. So we took our time. And again, I think it's like such a representation of like our personalities
Yes.
and what we want to be. And a lot of people come to us just because they're like, that's kick ass. You know what I mean? So like, and that's what we want. If you want kick ass stuff, we'll do it.
Or you can call me 330-506-2728. So I'm the business guy, so
Yeah, call
that's what
Tony.
happens. I have to answer every call.
Yes.
All the spam.
Yeah, and just like me, the phone rings in the pocket. So
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys. This has been fun. It's amazing how fast 26 minutes goes when you're
Yes.
having fun. And we really appreciated Clever Marketing being on the Discover Mercer County podcast with us today. Again, want to thank Teal College and Paul Coatsworth and the Pettis Communications Center team here. This show is produced by students. And also Melinda Bowe and Hauk from our office, our marketing and creative person who helps get this show up on all of the podcast platforms as well as our YouTube channel. And again, I'm Rod Wilt, the director of Penn-Northwest Development Corporation. We are the economic development agency for Mercer County, and our goal is to promote Mercer County as a great place to live, learn, work, and play. So we hope you enjoyed this edition of Discover Mercer County podcast with our guest, Clever Marketing. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more. We'll see you next time.